This radio program is PG-13. Parents strongly caution some material may be inappropriate for children under the age of 13.
The following program is sponsored by Michael W. Smith. The views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Phoenix, Brother Mike is back on the radio. Welcome to HardcoreChristianity.com. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome, Arizona, to the radio program. Today's Bible study, Woke Disney World. Yeah, they're taking over. Hey, will you call somebody and tell them the radio program's on? I'll make a couple of announcements when you make that call. This is Brother Mike. I am the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center in Phoenix. We're downtown. We're on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. It's the red brick building. On the website, you'll notice we have 2 live services every week, Thursdays and Friday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We have 2 Zoom services every week. Wednesday night, Brother Rick and the team are on at 6 p.m. Tuesday night, Sister Julie and the team are on for the women's only Zoom service. Women's only Zoom service, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. My deliverance training class is the 4th Saturday of every month. Don't forget about attending our children's deliverance services and our women's seminars at the Arizona Deliverance Center. Send me an email, Mike at hardcorechristianity.com. I'll send you the code and the password for the Zoom services. I'll also send you a religious exemption for the next virus hoax. I'll also send you the miracle list, a step-by-step guide to healing and deliverance that works 100% of the time. Please hit the PayPal button when you come to the website. Thank you for keeping us on the air for the last 20 years. And my podcast every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock Pacific time. Go to twitch.tv and put in HCCADC and you are there. Here we are. Woke. We're all at Woke Disney World. Isn't that something? 1 Timothy chapter 6, Paul said something absolutely shocking, staggering. He said, the love of money is the root of all evil. The Greek word for love of money there is philagoria. It means to have a passionate passion for money, or technically silver. The love of money is the root of all evil, which some coveted after, Greek word orego. Some have longed for, emotionally longed for, having lots of money, being wealthy, having lots of material things, being wealthy. They have longed for it, and as a result, Paul said they have erred from the faith. Greek word apoplaneo means to be led astray from the faith. And Paul said they have pierced themselves through. Pierced in Greek is the word you would use if you got stabbed by a sword. Pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Can you imagine the anxiety and the depression of people in the United States who fell in love with money and then went through the crash of 2008 and who are about to go through the next crash, which is going to be even bigger? That's coming probably in 2025 would be my guess, or late 2024. We're going to get hit. Then Paul says in verse 11, but you, man of God, you, woman of God, flee these things. Run from them. Greek word fugo, run. Run from these things and follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, and meekness. Then Paul says something shocking in Colossians chapter 3, one of the most shocking statements in the entire Bible. He says to the Christians, mortify your members on the earth. Melos is a Greek word for members there. It means your body parts. Mortify your body parts on the earth, like fornication, like uncleanness, like inordinate affection, like evil concupiscence, and it says covetousness, which is idolatry. Covetousness, pleonexia, the Greek word, to have a passion, desire for money, a material thing, a passionate desire for wealth, covetousness. That is the same as idolatry. That's the same as worshiping a Hindu god. That's the same as a Christian worshiping Allah. Covetousness is idolatry. And there's no bigger idolater in the entire planet than the biggest and the most powerful company in the entire planet. Do you have any idea what it is? What would you say is the number one biggest, most powerful corporation in the entire world? What is it? Vanguard. If you said Vanguard, you would be correct. Do you know what the top five index investment funds are in the stock market? Do you know? Number one, Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, $1.3 trillion in assets. Vanguard 500 Index Fund, $809 billion in assets. Vanguard Total International Stock Index Fund, $386 billion in assets. Fidelity 500 Index Fund, $380 billion in assets. Vanguard Total Bond Market Fund, $305 billion assets. Hello? Those are the top five. They're all Vanguard funds. That's not the worst of it. Here's the worst of it. Do you know who the top asset management funds and groups are? Do you know who they are? What is an asset management group? Okay, it's a gigantic, it's a super gigantic, it's an incomprehensible gigantic group that manages your money. Asset management funds. For example, do you work for the state of Arizona? Do you work for a large corporation? Are you working for a big company, an insurance company who has a 401k fund, a retirement fund? Are you invested in a retirement fund? Guess where they put that money? Guess where they put that money? You guessed it right. An asset management group. Who are the top asset management groups? Number one, BlackRock. Almost $10 trillion in assets. Vanguard. Almost $9 trillion in assets. It drops off from there. USB Group, $4 trillion. Then you got Fidelity, State Street, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Alliance, etc., and so on, etc., etc. These companies own the planet. They own your retirement. They have all your money. And they have developed an ESG score. An ESG score that they will apply to your employer. Do you work for an insurance company? I wonder what that would be. Okay, well, let's pick a couple, I guess. Allstate, State Farm, they're the big ones. Do you work for Wells Fargo? Do you work for a giant bank? Where do you work? Do you work for the state? Do you work for the city? Do you work for the county? Well, guess where your retirement money is being stored, earning an investment income on your retirement so that when you retire, you get paid X amount of dollars depending upon the years of service and your date of retirement and your age. You get your money back, correct? You get it back in increments, monthly payments. Well, how do you think all this is funded? Funded through an asset management group who invests your money. But they will not invest your money anymore if you do not have a high ESG score, environmental, social, governance score. What does that mean? Your company is going to go woke. Your company has to go woke. Why? Because they will refuse to invest your funds. Who will refuse to invest them? BlackRock, $10 trillion. Vanguard, $9 trillion. USB, and on and on and on. Guess who owns half of BlackRock? Guess who owns almost half the shares of BlackRock? Vanguard. Vanguard. The biggest, most dangerous, most powerful corporation that ever existed on the planet. Vanguard. And they're going to give your employer an ESG score. Now, having said all that your company has to meet certain environmental Green New Deal requirements, right? Your company must meet certain social requirements. What would that be like? Critical race theory, abortion, transgenderism. Your company must meet certain governance requirements, ESG, race quotas, hiring quotas, compensation, diversity, equity, inclusion. Are you listening to me? I hope you are, because this is what's going to happen all across the United States, and you can see it now. It's gotten so bad, Disney led the way. Now it's spread over to Kohl's and fast food. Bud Light got hit. Now Chick-fil-A went D-I-E, die. Disney revamped their entire corporation. They removed certain words like ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. They got rid of them. They let employees dress any way they want to now. Wear anything they want to. Wear tattoos. Right now at Disney World in Florida, do you know who greets you as you go into the ladies' beauty salon there? A guy with a mustache wearing a dress. Wearing a dress. Disney has completely revamped their system. Why? Because they hate Ron DeSantis? No. ESG. All the retirement money sent to BlackRock and Vanguard has to be invested so their retirees can be paid. They have to go woke, whether they like it or not. Who's causing all of this? Satan. He's running the entire planet. He's setting everything up for the rise of the Antichrist and the false prophet. The false prophet will set the Antichrist up as a world ruler. He will support him and cause everyone to take the mark of the beast. The false prophet is the most dangerous monster who ever lived. These two guys are alive somewhere on the planet now, and they're going to rise to power, and Satan is going to hand them over the world of woke.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.